Look what I'm showing today. Haven't got to show it, just the outside I showed before. This is for the classic tales of Brer Rabbit. Now you might have remembered Brer Rabbit from one Disney movie, which was Song of the South slash what was that called? Splash Mountain. Oh yes. From the collected stories of Joel Chandler, which I did not know who made the original story of Brer Rabbit, so now I know more of now. Retold by David Bourget, illustrated by Don Daly, and this is Courage Books. Imprint of Running Press, Philadelphia and London. I'm going to slowly fly through these. Welcome to the old plantation, a place where rabbits and foxes and turtles play tricks on one another, and all of them somehow get caught up in the joyous laughter and music of life. These are the tales of the crafty Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, and their friends, playful folk tales that have their roots in traditional African tales. These are stories full of character, history, and humor. Told and retold for hundreds of years, the folk tales were collected in 1880 by American newspaperman Joel Chandler Harris, who published them in Uncle Remus, his songs and sayings. You might have remembered Remus as being the main character in Song of the South. Harris created the character named Uncle Remus, a great grandfatherly storyteller who had once been a slave. In his rich southern dialect, Uncle Remus retold the adventures of Brer Rabbit and his friends on a little boy from the big house on an old plantation. The 7 tales in this young reader's version were retold from Harris's original book of stories. The language in this retelling has been modernized, but care has been taken to retain the humor, the music, and the truth of these wonderful stories. For these stories aren't just about rabbits and foxes. They are stories about all of us. So this retelling will only be the photos, which the artwork is non-Disney-fied, obviously. I love it, and I will be reading these short stories. Here's Mr. Fox. But and right here, I just want to show the artwork. There's Brer Rabbit, caught up in a snare. Oh, there's Brer Fox and then Brer Rabbit again. They are not cartoonified. That's what he originally looked like, at least in this version. Whoop. Mr. Bear had glasses. I guess he was smart. These artworks are fantastic. And these stories look more towards non-Disneyfied. I will definitely read all of these stories, not all at once. I'm glad that it sectioned them off into different stories, and they will all be retold fantastically later on. They will be retold next year. I'll get to reading this whole book. But I love this artwork. I had to show this. The artistic ability of this artist. It reminds me a lot of, if you've read the, what is that book called? Really realistic almost, you know. It reminds me of artwork from like something like Fantastic Mr. Fox. If you've seen that movie, its art style is very, very much like that. Oh, the turtle's eating a fish. There's a vulture. Look at that artwork. It just is never ending. Oh, like this looks to be like the race between the tortoise and the hare. Yep. With the hare being the Brer Rabbit. I did not know this book was something. I found it recently at my thrift shop. Someone gave it away. Oh, look at that artwork. I love it. This is just a artwork showing of so-called book. I will definitely figure out the different stories that it tells, and I will attempt to read them one by one. Now, I can say these artworks do look more adultified, not so cartoonish than Song of the South, if I remember correctly. It almost, the way his legs look also on the fox on this one, and the rabbit, he also looks like he's from Peter Rabbit, the book, and the movie series. That's what it first reminded me of, and then I looked closer at it and I was like, wait a minute. Disney retold this story. This book was made into a movie that Disney does not want to admit it made. Now, I remember seeing this. This is the back end. Then it says right there, copyright 1995 by Running Press. Illustrations by 95 by Don Daly. Does it say anything else? Library of Congress. And then the two last artworks we get to look at. Look at that detail. I'm so glad I found this book. I found the weirdest things. So it's right up there. Welcome to the old plantation, place where rabbits trick, foxes hunt, turtles race, possums play dead, bears swing upside down, and everyone gets caught up in the laughter and music of life. You will too. This looks like, by that one page, it was published in 1995. I love it.